Thank you guys for allowing me this opportunity to speak. I love to share my story. I'm excited to be here for many reasons. One of those reasons is I'm just glad to be alive after some of the foolish things that I've done, some of the things that I've experienced in life, some of the lessons I had to learn the hard way. I'm also excited because I'm here. Not that I'm full of myself, but I'm excited about myself. And I say that to you because you should be excited about yourself, right? Even if there's not a celebrity we're here today or wherever you are, you should still be excited even if you're all by yourself at home because you're there, right? And I'll explain what I mean by that here shortly. But I'm excited because you're here. Even if you're not excited yet about yourself, even if you don't think you're somebody who should be celebrated, I do. And because of that, I'm excited that you're here today. And so I thank you guys for giving me your attention. I won't be before you long. As Cameron said, I'm into numerous different things. And I'm excited about life, right? So before I get too much into it, Cameron, you get paid well for what you do?
You get paid decent.
Pretty decent?
Decent.
We're going to make you earn your money today. Okay? Does that camera move?
A little bit, yeah.
Because I'm not the kind of person that can just stay
Stay within the tape.
So
Yeah, stay within the tape.
Okay, I'll try my best. You guys, I'm from here. This is the town that I'm from. I'm from Jacksonville. I grew up here for the majority of my life. I know just about every street, every corner, every alley. I broke in almost every house. Don't tell Joe. Thankfully, he's not here anymore. Just being honest. I think it's been over 7 years, so hopefully they can't convict me for that. We may need to cut that out the tape. I made a lot of mistakes, and I didn't realize why I was doing the things that I was doing while I was doing them. Now, looking back, I understand. And so hopefully, my goal today is to say something maybe about my story that would help you to understand maybe why you do some of the things you do and maybe keep you from making some of the mistakes I made. Right? I don't consider myself to be a good-looking individual, but I don't look like what I've been through. Right? If I did, you would say, oh man, this dude is doing bad. Right? I would have a lot more scars and because I really have been through some things. Most of those things I brought upon myself by just being foolish. So I look back and I say, why was I trying to join gangs? Why was I doing all the drugs down there? I mean, golly, I feel like I lived on San Antonio Street, and I feel like I had more drugs than CVS. Because it used to be CVS, it's like a dollar store there right now. I mean, I smoked all the weed. I mean, almost nobody left none for anybody else in Jacksonville. It was like, where's the weed at? Well, I smoked it all probably. Seriously. Why did I do those things? I wanted attention. When my parents divorced around age 12, I didn't realize it, but I became angry. I just was mad at the world. I didn't care anymore. I didn't care about getting good grades, raising my hand, learning, UIL competition, sports, gifted and talented classes. I didn't care about that stuff no more. I didn't care about reading books and my AR points. That's what we used to call it. I don't know. We used to take tax tests, TOS tests. Y'all don't know nothing. It's probably called something different now. STAR test now. Yeah. I'm revealing my age. I wanted attention because I wasn't getting the attention that I needed, that my parents should have given me as a kid, right? I don't fully place the blame on them, but I'm just telling my story, right? I wanted attention. So if fighting at school got me attention, man, that's what I was going to do. Judge said, nobody likes being in trouble. Yeah, but people like the attention that it brings. And I was so bored sometimes that, hey, if I got to get in trouble just to get some attention and just to get some excitement in my life, that's what I'm going to do. I think sometimes, golly, in Jacksonville, we feel like they ain't got nothing to do. So I made the mistake of getting in trouble, right? Just to bring some excitement in my life. Did not realize there's so many other things that you can do with yourself. And I'm going to share some of those with you today. I don't know all of them yet. I'm still discovering some of the things that this world has to offer, that my limited mindset, my small way of thinking, my small-mindedness didn't allow me to see, right? But I was doing foolish things because I wanted attention. My goals, like, do you have any goals here today? I mean, obviously some of you guys are on probation. You make some mistakes. Well, I'm quoting the judge, and he said, well, there's life after mistakes, right? So we're not holding that over your head, right? Obviously, I couldn't if I wanted to, because I've been in your shoes. I've been on probation, right? I went to a similar event as this and just showed up in attendance and support, and there was an officer speaking, and his name was Officer Mendoza, something, is a Hispanic officer. And he said, Mr. Crow, I'm so glad you decided to join us. I remember chasing you every day. Somebody got to make you exercise. Burn some of them calories. But that's no longer who I am. I realize there's a better way of getting attention. That's a better place to get that attention, right? That's a better way of living. It took me long enough, man. I almost didn't get to see it because the decision I made put me in a predicament where I should have died and could have died or could have been left in prison still to this day, just being foolish, right? But I wanted attention. I realized that when I fought, I got attention. When I had a lot of money, I got attention. When I had a nice car with some shiny rims, I got attention. When I had the new shoes and the nice clothes, I got attention. So those were my only goals. I don't know how old you guys are, maybe 14, 15, 12, something like that. Am I? No? Am I totally wrong? Huh?
12 to 18.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. 12 to 18. Okay, some people a little bit older. Okay? At your age still, 12 to 18, my goals were pretty simple, right? My goals were, I want to get money. I want a fly chick. And I want a nice car with some good rims and some boom, boom, boom that'll wake you up at night. And that's about it. If you're honest, maybe that's your goals right now. And I want some nice clothes, right? New shoes and all that kind of stuff. But why did I want those things? I wanted attention. I keep going back to that. I wanted attention. And to this day, man, if I'm not careful, I catch myself just desperate for attention, right? And so I'm gonna tell you what I learned from that. I wanted attention. Those things got me attention, but it was the wrong kind of attention. Right? It was attention from people who really didn't care about me. They weren't excited about me. They weren't really celebrating me, but the things that I had. And as time went on, I realized that those were unhealthy relationships. Those were people that would steal from me, that would talk about me behind my back and do harmful things to me and didn't care about my well-being. Matter of fact, they would encourage me to do foolish things that would get me in trouble or cause harm on myself or others. They weren't real friends. But part of me in the back of my mind kind of knew it, but it was just like they were there and they gave me attention. And so I kept going back to those same people, those same streets, those same friends. Even when I started to learn, I realized, man, these people don't really care about me, man. And so I promised Miss Charlene Cameron I would preach. So I'm trying to do my best. But I know where to get that attention that I was thirsting for, hungering for. I know the only individual, the person that has the capability of of giving me the attention that I need full time and truly understanding me and being able to heal me and teach me and guide me and protect me and provide for my needs. And I know where to get that at. And so now when I get it, from him it's not a harmful kind of attention. It's not an attention that leaves me hurt and still desperate, right? And it works. So I think as a kid, I didn't realize that I didn't have to try to be like the cool kids. I didn't have to try to impress people, right? I wish I would have known at your age how important it is to just be myself. Nobody can be you better than you. Like, we have to realize, like, being different is a good thing. And I spent so much efforts trying to please people or fit in or do those things that would cause people to like me rather than being courageous enough to stand out and be different. And that would be the one thing that would make me unique and make me stand out. And I should have appreciated my uniqueness rather than trying to force myself to be like somebody that I wasn't. Somebody that I thought was cool. So one of the main things I say to young people today is, man, appreciate being unique. You were created to be different, not to fit in. It's okay to be kind of weird. Now I realize that's cool. That's what makes people set apart. So people will make fun of you at school for being different because they're not smart enough to realize that that's a good thing. And that could be the very thing that you capitalize on to help you change the world or bring some income into your household. I mean, who wants to pay to see somebody who's normal? Think about it. Right? I think I wanted freedom. I didn't want people telling me what to do. I wanted to be a grown-up. I feel like, hey, look, everybody's always trying to tell me what to do. Golly, now let me get out of here and let me be grown for a little while. Let me get out in the streets and let me do what I want to do. Let me be the boss of my own life. Anybody? You're not going to raise your hand, but you probably felt that way. Maybe y'all feel that way still. And so he said something about freedom, but we don't understand what freedom is. We think freedom is, I get to stay out as late as I want. I don't have to listen to my mama because she's not like she can spank me hard. My dad's not around. So let me just do what I want to do and I don't have to answer to nobody. I'm tired of this. No more rules. But we don't realize is when you do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, you become a slave to certain desires. Right? There's consequences. So that's why laws actually give us freedom because they keep us from getting entangled in some things that are unhealthy for us. Right? So if you don't keep the laws, it don't matter like how young or old you are. Like if you get out there and think you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, then you're going to realize that, hey, there's some consequences for these decisions. Right? And now I'm not as free as I thought I was going to be. Right? I think freedom comes from being disciplined enough to say, I'm setting boundaries for myself. And no matter who tries to pressure me, no matter what the situation is, I'm not going to do this certain thing. I'm going to set standards for myself. And I'm going to raise those standards, and I'm not going to participate in certain things because I know what's going to happen if I do this. Right? I listened to my oldest sister. She introduced me to what would be properly classified as gangster rap music. Should have never did it. Because I started doing everything they said. I started listening. I mean, I was captivated. I was like, man, they're mad like me. But they're cool mad. And they got some nice beats and the way that I just love it. But they didn't tell me I was going to end up in jail for doing this stuff. Dang! Make a rap song about jail, like, it's not fun. Should have warned me. They didn't tell me I was going to end up addicted to these drugs. They didn't tell me I could end up homeless. They didn't tell me people would actually shoot at me or rob me. They didn't tell me, like, you're going to get what you put out in life. You do bad, you do evil, and guess what? It's going to come back around to you. Some people call it karma. Some people say you reap what you sow. And some people say life's like a circle. What you do is going to come back to you. What goes around comes around. And man, it's true. They didn't tell me, oh, I'm out there breaking into the house, somebody's going to break into mine. But I learned, and I had to learn the hard way, but you don't have to. You don't have to end up in a coma, brain dead, blind. You don't have to get ran over. You don't have to get put in jail. You don't have to see your friends murdered. You don't have to experience that. There's some things that are out of our control that happen in life that are devastating that we didn't bring upon ourselves, that aren't our fault. And sometimes it's hard to deal and cope with those things. But also there's a lot of things, I'll just be honest, a lot of the things bad things that happened to me, I brought on myself just by being a knucklehead. Okay? So if life is already going to have crazy things happening, whether you're good or bad, and even good people go through bad things, then why, and this world's already crazy as it is, you don't have to contribute? If that's the case, and we probably all agree on that, if that's the case, then why bring even more trouble, drama, and craziness into your world, into your life, by being foolish and making bad decisions? When I started to say, okay, now I'm going to make wise decisions. Now I'm going to be smart. Now I'm going to call a time out and actually think before I make a choice. Now I'm actually going to use this thing that is between my ears sometimes. When I started to do that, and man, like, not to say everything in my life just got fixed and I don't have no more problems. No. But good things started happening here and there. In such a way that I realized it was because that I started making wise decisions and good choices. For once in my life, I started making good choices. And things started happening. There were still challenges. Yeah, there's still hardships. Stuff that I feel like is unfair. However, I'm going to continue to make, as much as I can, make good choices. Because then I know the good things are going to start happening. More and more good things start happening. So I stand before you today not to brag. Just say somebody who's been sober for right around 10 years. And I was... And, you know, one of my biggest dreams was to travel. I mean, for me, it was like going on vacation, just going to Thailand. Seriously. And so now I get to travel, meet people, man, and most of the time I don't have to even pay for my travels. Somebody else will bring me in to speak. I'm a recording artist, like Cameron said, so they'll bring me to different states. Last year, went to numerous different states to perform music. Got to stay in Mexico last year for a whole week, and it was just amazing. I got to speak in front of, like 1,000 people, perform music in front of a very large crowd. We went to Florida, Tampa, Florida last year, and spoke and did some music, which is beautiful in Florida. Golly, I love Florida. And Nebraska, random place in Nebraska. But it was cool. Anything just to see something different. Like, you know, like, I just, man. And Chicago, and being able to use all a lot of the same skills that I was using to do wrong, they translated into, you know, building a business. So it's a little bit harder in the beginning, took a little more patience, but the long-term results are so much greater, and no police officer, no judge, God bless, can take away those things away from me because I earned it, and I did it right this time, right? So I'm able to be my own boss, so there's a little bit of freedom there. You know, I was able to build a business, took me a little while, and actually may have to buddy with judge, because I'm in the real estate business, so sometimes I have to go before a judge to evict people. Sadly, it happens, right? Not very often, but it happens. And but it's really fun, and it takes a lot of hard work and sacrifice. It's really cool building something from scratch. No banks wanted to help me, no partners wanted to help me. I was against all odds, but over the years I just wouldn't give up, and I kept learning and educating myself and getting mentors and seeking advice, going to YouTube University and figuring it out. You know, because everybody doesn't learn the same, right? I think Albert Einstein said if you try to teach a fish to climb a tree, it's going to grow up his whole life thinking it's stupid. So just because you may not be as smart as other people in certain areas doesn't mean you're dumb. Maybe that's just not your area of expertise. But it's something else. You got a gift, whether you know what it is or not. You have a purpose. You're not an accident. And despite of what other people may have said about you or think about you, or despite of your lack of self-esteem because of maybe some of the mistakes you made, even if some of the chapters in your life didn't go the way you thought they should, the book is not over. It's still being written. And you can change things. And you are somebody. Like, what's the difference between people who accomplish amazing things and like break records or invent stuff or create discover the cure to diseases and things like that? What's the difference between those people and us? Or you? Huh? I disagree. I appreciate you participating though.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I disagree. I'm going to tell you why, and then I'll tell you why I disagree with you. And it's okay that we disagree, right? People in our culture don't realize, like, why? We don't have to be an enemy to disagree, right? Well, how did we miss that? We need a class on that. What was I talking about? Yeah, but...
Lack of money. Talking about
Yeah, I was
Difference between,
why people disagree. Or
No,
why,
before we got into this. What's the difference between people who... I just make sure y'all listen. What's the difference between people who do accomplish amazing feats and tasks in life and just normal people from Jacksonville or whatever?
Oh my God.
Or wherever you're from. Put in the work, that's a good answer. I'm going to tell you, they believe. That's all it is. It's not that they got more money. It's not that they got more resources. It's not that they got a daddy who's able to help. It's they believed. They just believed. They were crazy enough to believe that, hey, it could be me. Somebody's going to do it. Why not me? If not you, then who? If not now, then when? They were just crazy enough to believe. Everybody can dream big, but not many people are willing to start small. He was saying something. He had a few good little things he was saying up here. Most people aren't willing to start small. Everybody dreams big, right? But then you're like, reality kind of sets in. Other people impose their limited mindset upon you and say, oh no, do something realistic. You really need to go to college. College is not a bad thing, but it may not be for everybody. And what I'm really getting at is, remember getting that. All those drugs. Yeah, so it just doesn't work as fast as I would like it to, but we're getting it back. Some of it. Okay? The difference between those, they were crazy enough to believe, man. So how do I learn? I learned differently. I tried to go to college. I got my GED, and I tried to go to college, and it was cool. But it wasn't for me, y'all. God, maybe the grown-ups are getting scared to death right now. So I'm going to say something. Because we just bet, we put so much bank on college. It's a nice place, but man, it's not for everybody. And of course, the teacher's going to tell you to go to college. They get paid by the school system. But you definitely got to educate yourself. You got to sharpen your axe. He said something about cutting down a tree. Well, how do you cut down a tree the fastest? Not just start hacking. You sharpen the axe. Right? You sharpen. So sometimes it's just reading books. You can get on YouTube these days and you can learn. You can do some tutorials. You can learn from some people who are successful in certain fields. I like to pay for mentorships. I pay a guy $500 a month to teach me some of this, to answer basically all my questions about real estate. And we get on a weekly conference calls. And he's successful. And he has other resources that he allows me to have access to. He has the experience to help prevent me from having to make all the mistakes that he made. So it's like a way of fast forwarding in life. It's almost like a cheat code. Getting a good mentor. Wise counsel. Somebody who can advise you. At your age, you might think it's not cool to ask for advice. I thought it wasn't cool to ask for advice. I got to act like I got it all figured out or they might make fun of me. So therefore, I don't ask for advice. That's what I did at your age. Don't make that mistake. Do you not think that being a business owner is pretty cool? You ain't got to work for nobody else. You make your own hours. It's a lot of hard work. True, yes, and it's not all peaches and cream, but it is a really cool thing. Would you agree? To own your own business. You hire, fire. You promote and demote. Does that work? That's pretty cool. Well, guess what? Business owners have advisors. You have to treat yourself right now as a CEO. If you have that dream and you say, okay, this is what I want to be, then you have to go ahead and believe that's who you are, even if it's not manifested yet. Go ahead and believe and say, I'm going to live in such a way that shows that I believe that I'm going to be that person. And until you persuade and convince yourself that you are that person and you can be that person and you can do that thing, then you're going to have a hard time accomplishing that. And failure is a part of it. The people who did succeed and do succeed, they were just willing to be embarrassed for a long period of time and not give up. That's the God's honest truth. But we don't realize that. We think, oh man, I failed. It must not be for me. It must not be meant to be. Or maybe I'm not good enough. No! You just have to continue to fail. And you're eventually going to figure it out. Be willing to fail. I said start small. Everybody dreams big, but not many people are willing to start small. But when you start, and yes, because why people don't want to start small? It's embarrassing. When I started my clothing store, people came in and laughed because it looked like more like a garage sale. But I said, you know what, sorry. I'm gonna be a good steward of what I got, and I'm gonna grow slowly, grow organically, and I'm gonna learn the business. Money is not the thing that you need, because if I was to give you a whole bunch of money, if you're not prepared to properly steward that money, then you might have a lot of money, but you're going to be careless with it, and next thing you know, it's all gone, and you might end up in a worse state of mind than you were before. But if you grow one step at a time, without a loan, without a lot of help. You figure it out, and you may do it. It may be the hard way, it may be the slow way, but it makes you really learn every aspect of the business. And it makes you good at what you do. And it's almost like you got a bulletproof business at that point because you've learned every little aspect. And you can appreciate the janitor when you're the principal or the superintendent because you used to be there. And you know how to do their job if they don't show up. And they can't lie to you and trick you about something they were supposed to do, but they're trying to say they did do it, but they didn't do it because you know that aspect of the business because you used to work there. Right? So one of the benefits of starting small. But it all just comes back to how do you think about yourself? How do you see yourself? Don't let yourself be defined by your failures or your mistakes or your last chapter. Because things can change. If you say, I want this in life, there is this thing that I want. Somebody have a dream that they're willing to share with us? What is it?
I want to be a lawyer.
A lawyer. Wow, that's awesome. I love to debate with people and argue with people. So I kind of want to be a lawyer too. I ain't gonna lie. I thought about that. And I'm still thinking about that. Right? I got you next. Let me say this. A lawyer. And what's yours? Go ahead.
Beautician.
Beautician. Okay. Awesome. Cool. All right. So we got lawyer, beautician,
Teacher.
teacher. Okay. Awesome. We definitely need some good teachers.
I love math, so
Oh.
I'm about to teach kiddos my truth.
You might need to teach me. I'm still trying to learn math.
You know how to multiply 9 by your hands?
Say that again.
So you know how to multiply by 9 by your hands?
A long time ago, baby. But these days we got calculators. But it's still good to kind of be sharp. Within my business, like I'm learning, man, wow, I should have paid attention to math. Right.
It is up.
It's a lot of different formulas and stuff within real estate. And I was just going to say, I'm never going to need this.
Yeah, you
Some of the stuff, yeah. Okay. Well, we're talking about believing in yourself. Lawyer, beautician, teacher. Okay. So, in order to be a lawyer, if you want to be a lawyer one day, if you want to be a beautician one day, if you want to be a teacher one day, you don't just say, I want it, maybe it'll fall in my lap. If I hope for it, no. Say, I'm going to now prepare myself for the opportunity when it presents itself. Right? So now start debating with people. Now start presenting your case, trying to persuade people. Now, even on small stuff. And go ahead and prepare yourself. Now start reading books. Now figure out who your favorite lawyers are. And whenever it's time for, y'all say 5 minutes, just somebody say, Steve, or I would say, come get the mic, but there's not a mic. Just come grab me and pull me. That's what they normally have to do. Okay? Lawyer, beautician, and teacher, just go ahead and now figure out, okay, who is the best teacher in the world? Who's the best beautician? Or who's your favorite? And then start to study them. Start to implement some of the things they do. You don't have to do it just like them, but pick the things that you like about what they do. And then other people, like let's say there's 5 different beauticians you like, or 8 different teachers you like, or 3 different lawyers that you like. Start to pull the things that out of what they do, or their character, or their abilities that you like that's going to collectively create who you're going to be as a lawyer, right? And then throw your own little sauce in there, right? Yeah, one of y'all had.
It was me. I was about to say the reason I fell in love with math was because of my algebra teacher over at Henderson. His name is Mr. Youngblood, and he made himself like the teacher, but also like kind of a supporter.
Yeah.
I went to see him. When I was at school this past semester, I would see him because I was up there taking a test, and I was in a car wreck. And I haven't seen him in a year, probably. And he just was so happy to see me, and I was so happy to see him. Like, me and him have, like, a real good, like, friendship, I guess. And I was just telling him that he inspired me to really move on with my life and to really grow from it.
That's awesome. So it just takes one person. But and that's what I learned, is when I got myself away from the people that meant me no good, that didn't really care about my well-being, when I started spending my time around people who wanted to invest in me, who actually were wise and had some sense about themselves and could help me benefit from their experiences, my life changed. Placing yourself strategically around people who have the ability to invest in you, even if that's not money, that's just like actually trying to inspire you and actually giving you some direction and helping you in life. Even if they're not the most exciting people. Like the friends that aren't good for you, they're like the funniest all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're exciting to be around. They got a little bit of charisma. But don't be deceived by that. Right? Charm is deceitful sometimes. Be okay with hanging out with the people who may not be as exciting, but have something to offer you. I'm wrapping it up. I'm an NBA fan. Well, I'm a basketball fan.
Yeah, I feel like
Say no, I'm leaving.
Okay, well, I'm a Golden State fan. But let me just say what I'm getting there before I forget. See, I'm trying to make a point, I'm going to forget. So y'all know how I am. If you want a championship team, if you want to be successful, you got to have a team. If you want a championship team and you actually want to win in life, you have to be careful about who you allow on the court. You have to be particular and picky about the people that you pick and you draft to be on your team. Don't let just anybody, just because they want to be in your life, man. Some people you got to stay away from. Spending time around a foolish person, a really, really good book that I really, really like says is more dangerous than robbing a mama bear of her cub. Anybody here willing to volunteer just for just to go viral on YouTube's sake to rob a bear cub from a mama bear?
I gotta say it.
You got the what?
Do we get to keep the fur and are they tasty?
The question is not are they tasty, but are you tasty? That mama bear's gonna eat you. Right?
No, I just
Tell
don't
us a
get
little
it.
bit more about what you do now. I know you
Yeah, sure. So I do a couple things, and I try not to do too many things. I'm definitely a gospel preacher. I travel around. Sometimes places are crazy enough to let me preach. I actually also do Christian hip hop music, and it just so happens that I've actually been to what's it? Pastor Smith's church. We didn't realize it until a few minutes ago that I've actually done music at Pastor Smith's church in Beckville years ago. So I've been doing it for years, traveling, go to prisons, go to schools sometimes, of course churches. Ma'am?
How about a little sample?
Well, you know, I told Charlene asked me for that. I'm definitely open to that. However, I can't promise that it won't be extremely preachy. So it may not be, best for this atmosphere, considering what I promised to Cameron. But you want to check it out? I do have a website. I'm on Facebook. Actually, I got a lot of my music on Facebook. You don't do Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, so you spell my name Stephen with the PH. So you spell it the same way they spell Stephen Curry. But my name, we pronounce it Stephen. My middle initial I, and my last name's Crow, like the bird, C-R-O-W. So.
We have some flyers at church.
Yeah, I think it may be on the flyer. Okay, it may be on the flyer, my name, so you can just find me on Facebook. That's where you can access all my videos and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm also an entrepreneur, been an entrepreneur for a long time. And so right now, real estate has been where I've been focusing my efforts. And so I own a few rental properties, some owner finance. We help people become homeowners who have less than perfect credit. We sell homes owner finance as well. Sometimes I'm working with a few different investment groups and help them to grow their portfolio while I kind of slowly grow mine. And so some people like, flipping houses. Every once in a while I might do a flip or, things of that sort.
And at what point in your life did you turn around and make the change?
Well, okay, so at one point in time, I was in jail long enough to sober up and to because not in jail, I was not sober. So to try to cope with to escape the reality of the responsibilities I had and to try to run from reality, I would smoke weed. Like that was I smoked a lot of weed, and felt like at a point I couldn't function properly without doing so, and my body became dependent upon it. Well, one particular point in time, I went to jail long enough to sober up and to realize, what am I, like, kind of just come to my senses, right? And say, what am I thinking? Got so many opportunities, and I just squandered them all. So it was at that point, I was really at rock bottom when, God intervened in my life, and I got a letter, and it was all about the gospel, and for me, that was when, things really began to change, and I got some new friends. I joined the church, and I started reading the Bible, and, like I said, I didn't come here to preach, but that's my story.
What age were you when you realized?
I was probably about 20, 21. So it's been about 10 years now. I'm 31 now.
31?
Don't tell nobody.
Honestly,
Hey, you guys.
it's kind of obvious you're like 30 because, you've been sober for like 10 years.
He got your.
And if you're like 16, 17, you're probably too much of a, I can't say a bad word, but, a dumb person.
Dumb donkey.
I appreciate that. I think. Any other questions, you guys? Mathematician.
I've definitely seen you somewhere. My mom has showed me videos of speakers that really give motivation to others. I've definitely seen you online before.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I was familiar with your voice, and I was like, I've heard that voice before, and I was like, the only way I'd hear it was because of my mom.
Cool. Awesome. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for giving me your ears. Man, I'm excited about y'all and to see what you guys are going to do with your life. Because really, this wasn't about me, man. I didn't get paid for this. If y'all want to pay me, then I was gladly accept that. But that's not why I came, y'all. That's not why I came. I don't even eat pizza. So that's not why I came. Man, I came here because I want to spark something inside of you to say, man, you know what? I can believe in myself. I can be somebody. I can do something with my life, even if I come from the poor side of town, even if all odds are against me, even if nobody else believes in me, even if everybody else doubts me. That's okay. Just let that fuel the hunger inside of you. All the negative in your life, if you don't have a support system, all the terrible things that have happened to you and may continue to happen to you, just allow that to channel and bottle up and use that as fuel. Let that pressure propel you, right? Get you a mentor. And if you really desire one, and you want one, if you build it, they'll come, right? Y'all too young for that movie. Basically what I mean is, if you want it and you really desire it, it'll show up. Make sure you appreciate them. Take advantage of the opportunities. Realize when the opportunity is in front of you, it's only going to be there, and it's only going to stay there if you can appreciate it and take advantage of it.
And work towards it.
Work towards it. If you don't value it and you're slack with it and you're lazy about it and you don't show up on time and you always got an excuse, it's going to move on to somebody else who is worthy of it. Right? Okay, so man, I appreciate you guys listening to what I said, that I just simply came here to tell you guys, to inspire you guys. So thank y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all.